Greetings, everyone. My name is Frankie Ghee, and the name of my program is Around the Piano, Character Building Songs for Teens and Preteens. And I'm very excited over the next very few minutes to share with you how your school or organization can use Around the Piano for social emotional learning and arts integration. I've got so much that I want to show you. I'm going to start with a little video in a perfect world where technology works for me. And here we go. Let me ask you this. Is there anything that shouts social emotional learning louder than gathering a group of young people around a piano, campfire, or a specially notated place in your school or general education classroom to sing songs and write lyrics about being a good friend, a good citizen, a strong person, family member, or student, telling stories about real life events, asking questions like, what would you do? What should you do? In an explicit attempt to help them write a personal code of character? I don't think so. But before you make up your mind, let me tell you a little bit about me and how I got the concept and application of Around the Piano. After working for 8 years as a medical technologist, I went back to school and got my teaching certificate in 1999 in Spokane, Washington. And I got my first real job at Shaw Middle School, where I ended up teaching for 13 years. My school was considered to be in the bad part of town, which means that many of my students were dealing with a lot more than grades and outfit choices. My singers were dealing with adult issues like where they were going to sleep and who was going to be in the house with them, and if they would be safe anywhere. Needless to say, the choir room was important to these students for different reasons than I was hoping when I picked the music for the year. I came to understand that our classroom was like a safe haven in the day, a place where the stress level was lessened because of the music and the family, the atmosphere. But even that didn't mean we could sail smoothly every day. We still had issues, lots of drama in the middle school. I can't tell you the exact major drama that first shut down my choir rehearsal and had me think, okay, we have to stop. Come on down around the piano and let's just sing for fun. But I did it, and it became a go-to for me when we were having a stressful day or a busy day that just wasn't, where things just weren't clicking. I would say, come on down around the piano, and we would sing songs that weren't rehearsal songs, but just songs that we wanted to sing. And we ended up singing Glory, Glory, Hallelujah, and This Little Light of Mine over and over and over again to the point that I wanted to scream. So I started writing my own songs. It occurred to me that I wanted to write the songs easy enough so that we weren't feeling like we were rehearsing when we were around the piano, but I wanted to explicitly share songs that had a character message built in, that the kids right from jump were thinking about, oh yeah, that's kind of who I wanted to be. So I would call the students around the piano, and we started to make that a safe space. It was a space where no meanness was allowed. There were no bad ideas. There were no bad singers. Anybody could be a soloist or do a duet. We took time, and we tried not to rush each other during that part of our day. So it just became understood. I didn't correct their grammar. I know a lot of teachers, even when I work in classrooms, sometimes people have a hard time letting go of that parent voice. And the way that I approach it when I'm doing Around the Piano is I say to myself, I'm going to treat these young people like I'm an adult visitor in their home. So if I'm an adult visitor in your home, I'm still going to use appropriate language. I'm still going to expect a certain amount of respect from you, but I'm not going to correct your grammar. I'm not going to tell you to clean your room. I'm not going to be putting my thumb on you. I'm just going to be happy to be there. And if you come and want to talk to me and share something with me, I'm going to take that as a compliment. So that's kind of how I approach it. Of course, if we have a discipline issue or something that goes wrong in the classroom, somebody might have to leave our safe space and go to a different safe space until they can get it together and then come back in, like a timeout. But for the most of the time, I try to avoid that. I want the kids to stay with me and stay with their teacher in that classroom, in that space that we're creating, so that they know I made it to the Around the Piano space. It's really hard for me to get kicked out of here. I am safe here. Research has shown that singing out loud with a group does many wonderful things. It builds community, it builds confidence, leads to improved physical health. I share this information with students before I ask them to start doing anything that feels like work. I want them to know that it's more about being in the space. And my hope is that when my time at your school is done, you'll have that space and you can go back to it without me there. You can go back to it and the kids will know, oh, if this is the Around the Piano space, my teacher is inviting me to talk about real life issues. My teacher is inviting me to treat him or her as if they're a visitor in my house for a moment. We're changing that dynamic so that we're all kind of more welcoming to each other, and that it's going to be different. And when we leave the Around the Piano space, we're going to go back to the regular classroom and do what we need to do. I like to think about it kind of as like a family standing around a piano singing holiday tunes or singing around the campfire. It's just a different place. Time and place is a very important social, emotional thing for kids to learn. And if you can teach them how to be in this classroom is different from that classroom, is different from home, is different from the grocery store, is different from a concert. You're not a bad person when you're yelling and screaming when you're on a soccer field, but you might not want to do that in a concert. And just that ability to change from different spaces. For the record, I have a bachelor's degree in microbiology, a bachelor's degree in K-12 music education, and a master's degree in teaching and learning. I also teach aerobics part-time. So I understand the value of ensemble rehearsal, core classes, as well as health and fitness. But my experience tells me that the arts, and especially music, are a part of every culture because of how it brings us together and keeps us sane. That being said, let's take a moment to music together. By the way, this PowerPoint presentation was created for the Prince George's Teaching Artist Teacher Institute. And my presentation was part of the Prince George's Arts and Humanities Council Teaching Artist presentation. So I'm gonna pretend that you're out there, even though I'm redoing this PowerPoint. So if you're sharing this, everybody go ahead and unmute. We're gonna do some vocal exercises together. So while you're out there in the world, give me a nice big woohoo! Hey, hey! Ha ha! Hee hee! Hey, 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 ha, ha, ha. I've learned that if we all hold out a note, eventually everybody is singing at the same time. So I'm just gonna pick a note, and if you're watching this with friends or family, or if you're watching it via a Zoom classroom, you're welcome to play this. Just join in with me. I'm just gonna pick a note. La. You can breathe and come back in. Okay, all right. So the first song, this is an Around the Piano song that kind of sums up my thinking about music. It's called I'm Gonna Use Music, and this is one of the songs I teach when I do an Around the Piano session. I'm gonna use music. I'm gonna use the strength of song. I'm gonna use music to pass the time and to light the darkness. And when I come to a difficult time, I'm going to sing a song that tells myself that I'm doing just fine. A song that says that the world is mine. I'm gonna use music. I'm gonna use music. And this is a great song to be sung in a round. You can add harmonies. You can write new lyrics to it. You can make it your own. You can add percussion. You can sing it fast or slow, for instance. I'm gonna use music. I'm gonna use the strength of song. I'm gonna use music to pass the time and to light the darkness. And when I come to a difficult time, I'm going to sing a song that tells myself that I'm doing just fine. A song that says that the world is mine. I'm gonna use music. I'm gonna use music. If you do this as a songwriting exercise, you might get kids saying things like, I'm gonna use family, or I'm gonna use hockey, I'm gonna use football, I'm gonna use writing, whatever. And they can write their lyrics. And basically the song is about drawing strength from the arts, drawing strength from yourself, and using music to get you there. So using music to develop social emotional learning with Around the Piano looks like this. There, you'll notice on a lot of the videos and pictures, I don't have a piano. The piano is not necessary. Be very comfortable singing a cappella. Be very comfortable using a guitar or a ukulele or a one-note piano, whatever you need to do. If you need a recording, just connect with me and I'll see what I can do to get that for you. Social emotional learning is a process for learning life skills, including how to deal with oneself by recognizing personal emotions and learning how to manage those feelings. How to deal with others by developing sympathy and empathy for others, how to deal with relationships and maintain positive relationships, how to work in an effective manner by dealing with a variety of situations in a constructive and ethical way. So you can see that social emotional learning, people who have these skills are going to make better friends, they're going to make better family members, they're going to make better coworkers, better bosses, better teammates. What exactly is Around the Piano? Around the Piano is a collection of easy to learn songs and lessons created by me, experienced teacher and performer, Frankie Ghee. The lyrics give advice or share philosophies about character that young people can understand and explore. The lessons encourage creativity, self-expression, and tolerance. While designed intentionally to appeal to older students, that's the middle school and beyond and adult level, the resource works well for all ages. The same songs that I teach when I'm working with middle school kids are the songs that I teach when I work with elementary. The difference in a song that is specifically created for elementary, I think of those as being more sing-songy kinds of songs, more easy, quick songs, yes, but they just have a different kind of melody. I use a lot of minor key, a lot of gospel feel, a lot of pop rock feel in the songs, the Around the Piano songs. Gathering around the piano fosters fellowship and bonding in ensembles, clubs, and community programs. So the way that it works, step one, you create the space by setting explicit content and social goals. Step two, you explore the music we already have in common and its power. So that's where I ask the kids to tell me about their favorite songs, to sing a little bit of a melody that they love, to talk to me about when and where they hear music in their life. Step three, we learn a song together, and that's where the Around the Piano songs really come in, and we connect through that song. That's something that we now have in common. We develop a working personal code of character for every participant, and that's something that goes over the course. If it's a one-day workshop, they should have a working personal code of character when they walk out the door. If it's a 6-week program, we usually don't write the personal code of character until we've had a lot more time to think about it. We pull those characteristics like integrity, friendship, fairness, caring, citizenship, those characteristics, we define them for ourselves and bring them together, and then we decide for ourselves what kind of person we want to be. One of my favorite things now to say is, if your goal is to shame, blame, or train another person, it's probably not a personal code of character. So your personal code of character is a set of rules or guidelines that you use to help you make good decisions. So step 3, next step is we make the song personal to the group by altering the tempo and the dynamics and the style of the song. We make the song personal to the individual through lyric writing and sharing. We try to write our lyrics based on our personal code of character and the situations in our life that have been challenging to us. So I might write song lyrics about how I got in a fight with my little brother, or how a stranger approached me on the street, or how I don't know where I'm gonna sleep tonight. So those lyrics might be personal to me, and my personal code of character comes through in how I deal with that challenge. Rinse, repeat. Step 1 determines what follows. Everything else depends on what happens in the moments we share. And you can find out more at allaroundthepiano.com. It is the goal of every Around the Piano program that participants will have a positive experience with group singing and growth in the following areas: appreciation of music as a tool for communication, improving health and well-being, expressing and preserving culture, connecting diverse populations, teaching concepts, and sharing stories. Music does all of those things. I hope that participants will gain self-awareness through inquiry and exploration of a personal code of character. I hope that participants will have group synergy, team building through increased empathy, cooperation, and collaboration, improvisation and creative problem-solving skills, increased individual confidence and feeling of acceptance within the group setting, more joy, more laughter, more music. I want to teach you one of these songs. These are the 13 Around the Piano songs. There are 10 of them in the original Around the Piano workbook, and 3 supplements. For our times right now, I want to teach you a song called It's All Right to Breathe. So let's see if I have that. Here we go. And it just starts with a nice breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out, and repeat. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Maybe it's all right to breathe in serenity. Seize the moment, forget time. Close your eyes a while and breathe for your sanity. Hold beauty in your mind. When there's confusion and frustration and you're trying to change the way that things are and find a better way, I believe someday you'll find it, but right now it's overwhelming and fear is closing doors and the way is unclear. But maybe it's all right to breathe in serenity. Seize the moment, forget time. Close your eyes a while and breathe for your sanity. Hold beauty in your mind. If there is anger, talk of hatred turns the temperature up, and heated conversations can erupt into violence and chaos. Mob mentality can sweep us away. A breath of patience might bring peace to save the day. Maybe it's all right to breathe in serenity. Seize the moment, forget time. Close your eyes a while and breathe for your sanity. Hold beauty in your mind. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. And if you like, breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Lately, it's all right to breathe in serenity. And you can just keep going with that. Students might write their own lyrics to a verse. You might, like for my example about not knowing where you're going to sleep, you might come up with something like, My mother lost her job and now I don't know where we will stay. Our car is broken down, no help is on the way. And you can see you could go from there and take however much time your students needed and how much guidance your students need. You could leave you could give them a blank sheet of paper and let them just go to town on writing a verse, or you can be very, very specific. You can teach dynamics, louds and softs, slows and fast. You can teach rhyme scheme, couplets, different AABA formats for rhyming. But the main thing about Around the Piano is that we are singing together and that we are hearing each other. So it's a lot more about the social emotional learning piece and just the joy of singing and learning about the joy of singing than anything else. Group singing is the perfect catalyst for social emotional learning because when we sing together, we have concepts like balance and blend. Balance meaning that if there's somebody who's way in the back of the room and is uncomfortable singing, I don't yell at them or shame them and say you need to sing louder. I say, you know what, it would help to balance the group if you came out of your shell a little bit and shared a little bit more. And if somebody is singing way too loud so nobody else can hear them, I don't tell them to shush. I talk to them about listening for other people, hearing other people, and being empathetic to the person who is really quiet. Blend, if I'm singing a song and I'm singing it in a very round tone and somebody's singing it in a very nasal tone, I don't tell them that their tone is wrong. I say, hey, let's try it this way. Let's all try singing it like opera singers, or let's all try singing it like babies, or let's all try singing it like really loud and angry. And in that way, we start listening to each other and we blend and we make that group sound. My favorite thing is when a group of adults or kids that I'm working with has that look like, look what we did, because it's gonna sound good. Even if that is not the goal, it's going to sound good because it's people singing together. The larger the group, the more challenges you have as far as getting the songwriting piece together and giving everybody time. So this works really well in groups that are small, but the more voices you have, the more confidence everyone can have. So I've done Around the Piano with groups as small as 4 or 5 people and groups as large as 300 people. So it is just up to the situation and we can make it work. Creative problem solving is part of group singing because if it doesn't sound as good as we want it to, we can work with the group to make adjustments in tone and pitch and dynamics and style. If we want to make a song sound sad, what can we change? If we want to make a song sound, you know, more poppy, what can we add? If we want to make a song sound more modern, what are we going to do? So group singing is collaborative, it builds confidence, it's healthy, and it's joyful. Integrating Around the Piano character building songs for teens and preteens into a non-music curriculum is awesome because the creative problem solving skills and the development of a personal code of character can make every classroom environment safer and more kind. If I've had a conversation with my math students about helping each other and being polite to each other and just seeing each other, recognizing that there are other people in the room, taking turns, all of those personal code of character things, having a decent sense of humor, being somebody who can take constructive criticism. Those are all things that are going to help in any class. Literature and historical figures can be discussion starters for our lyric writing and about our character education. We can look at the character qualities of the different characters in a story or historical figures. We can use math concepts, which are so important in music, to enhance basic math lessons, including statistics. We can say, how many people do you think we need to have singing on, if we're doing a round, how many people do we need to have in each part so that it sounds good? Do we need to balance? Do we need to blend? We can talk about fractions when we're talking about notes and rests and that kind of thing. We can graph how loud something is or how soft something is. We can use concepts in lyric writing such as figurative versus literal language, rhyme, and alliteration to enhance poetry discussions. We can use questioning strategies that will enhance science lessons. And we can use concepts of social justice embedded in each Around the Piano song to help analyze current events and personal challenges. So what does distance learning look like with Around the Piano? Well, like I said, we can make it work. If we sing it together some of the time, it's going to sound, there is that delay, it's going to be a little bit crazy, but there are breakout groups we can use. There are things that we can write and hold up. There are conversations that we can have. We can mute people. We can mute everyone except for a couple of people. We can sing together. We can do it. We can do a lot of physical things. Like if I was going to do teach, I'm going to use music, I might teach it with a little bit more physical activity. I might go, I'm gonna use music. I'm gonna use the strength of song. I'm gonna use music, and on like that, and let the kids come up with some movement so that we are together. We absolutely will do physical things, warm-ups, our woo-hooing and that kind of thing will get us together on the same page. And it's just a matter of continuing to check in and being present with each other, even if it's through a screen, and using all of those things that we learn about being a good person in a virtual world. I thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have an awesome day and that life just keeps getting better and better for you. Take care. My name is Frankie Ghee, and thank you for learning about Around the Piano, character building songs for teens and preteens, and social emotional learning. For more information, visit allaroundthepiano.com. I do artist in residence, full assemblies, teacher trainings, employment workshops, H&R workshops, any choir rehearsals, band rehearsals, any place where you want people to be their best selves. Thank you again. Take care.